Hi, and welcome to the Concrete Canvas Toolbox Talk video. In this short video, I'm going to explain to you what concrete canvas materials are, what they're typically used for, and the 4 key installation principles that you need to follow to ensure a safe, quick, and correct installation. Concrete Canvas USA was incorporated in 2021 to supply innovative products to the U.S. construction market, primarily for hard armor erosion control solutions, but as well as containment applications such as canal lining and berm linings. So you may be wondering exactly what is concrete canvas. It's a flexible impregnated geotextile that hardens when hydrated to form a waterproof, fiber-reinforced concrete layer. It starts its life soft and flexible, as you can see from this sample here. It comes on a roll. It's available in various thicknesses. Simply unroll the material, anchor it to the substrate, hydrate it with water, and it hardens up. It's literally concrete on a roll. There are different types of concrete canvas that are available, but their general makeup is roughly the same for all of them. The top surface is a hydrophilic geotextile layer that's always installed face up. You have a matrix of synthetic fibers running through the material, which is impregnated with our proprietary cement blend. Finally, on the lower surface, you have a waterproof geomembrane, which is always placed down in contact with the substrate. Although it's a simple product to install, there are 4 key installation principles that must be followed to ensure a successful installation. First things first, before we start the installation principles, you're going to need PPE. Outside of the standard steel toe boots, safety vest, and safety glasses, we also recommend gloves and even a mask if you're sensitive to the concrete dust. In order to deploy the material, you will need a spreader bar and a piece of equipment to lift the material on the spreader bar. This could be a forklift, an excavator, a reach, or any other equipment that is capable of picking up a roll that can weigh as much as 3,600 pounds. It is recommended to use a swivel shackle attachment to the spreader bar and excavator to more easily be able to handle and position the roll correctly for cutting. Concrete canvas is really easy to work with. You can cut it to length using a simple box cutter. It's best to use one with snap-off blades and to change your blades regularly, as the cementitious material will dull the blade. For larger projects, you can use a disc cutter to cut the concrete canvas to desired lengths, but be sure to wear a mask, as this will cause some dust generation. You should also have extra batteries, chargers, and drill bits so there's no interruption in the jointing process. Much of this equipment is difficult to source immediately, so it's important that you are prepared ahead of time. The first installation principle is to avoid voids. The surface on which the canvas is going to be installed should be smooth, firm, unyielding, and free of any sharp rocks, tree stumps, or anything that could damage the underlying geomembrane. In the case of remediation, you need to make sure any rebar or loose concrete is removed and the voids filled in with soil or some other material to ensure a smooth, flat surface. The second principle is to secure the concrete canvas to the subgrade and joining the multiple layers. There are a number of different methods that can be used to join the panels. Using just screws is the most common joining method. This can be used for slope protection, erosion control, or for drainage applications where there is either high hydrostatic pressure or in applications where water is only present during storm events. It's not intended to prevent seepage losses or water losses. Because only screws are used, this is not considered a low permeability joint. Screws should be placed about 2 inches in from the edge and spaced 4 to 8 inches along the length of the seam. Many different tool manufacturers have cordless drills with collated drywall attachment. This greatly increases the rate of installation of these screws. If a lower permeability seam is required, the seam can be augmented with a sealant such as Sikaflex 1A, but bear in mind you still have to use the stainless steel screws even if you're using the sealant. You can't use sealant only to seal a joint. The panels can also be thermally bonded with screws using our CCX product. We recommend the Leicester Unidrive 220 volt hot air welder with a specialized nozzle that we have created for our CCX material. Use of thermal bonding with screws has been demonstrated in irrigation projects to reduce seepage by more than 96%. If you're attaching to a culvert, you would use self-tapping screws with washers spaced 20 inches apart. For remediation, if you're attaching to concrete, you can use concrete anchor bolts with washers also at 20-inch spacing. Just about any type of anchoring can be used as long as they are stainless or galvanized with a big enough head or washer. Continuing with the principle for securing the concrete canvas is anchoring. We need to make sure the concrete canvas is firmly anchored to the ground. Typically, we use 10-inch galvanized pegs, which are installed in the anchor trench at each overlap. The third principle is to prevent infiltration of wind and water from getting up underneath the GCCM. This could cause undermining of the subgrade and could result in a systemic failure of the system. The first step is to excavate anchor trenches. Typically, these are going to be 6 inches wide, 6 inches deep, and located 6 inches from the crest of the slope or the drainage channel. These can be dug manually, with the backhoe, with the ditch witch, or with any other equipment that is capable of excavating the required anchor trench. The fourth and final principle is hydrate the GCCM. You must actively hydrate the GCCM. You cannot rely on rainfall or snowmelt to hydrate the material properly. A general rule of thumb is half the weight of the material in water for full hydration. So for a 3,500 pound roll, you would need about 200 gallons of water to properly hydrate the GCCM. The best practice is to hydrate the material in one pass and then start back at the beginning and hydrate again, with the focus on sloped areas or areas where the material is lighter, indicating it did not get enough water for full hydration. You should be able to press your hand against the surface of the GCCM and see water. If not, that means you need more water. The water used doesn't have to be potable. It can be processed water. It can be water from a nearby lake, river, or stream. It just needs to have a pH of greater than 6. Also, don't use a high-pressure water jet to hydrate the GCCM, as this may dislodge some of the cementitious material before it's able to cure. For a multi-day project, all material installed in one day should be hydrated at the end of the day to prevent partial hydration from unexpected rainfall. Once fully hydrated, the anchor trenches should be backfilled. The leading edge may be covered with a tarp to prevent partial hydration overnight. A typical crew for a smaller project would include an equipment operator along with 2 or 3 laborers to assist with placing, securing, and joining the panels. For larger thermally bonded projects, 6 to 8 people may be required. With this configuration, you would again have an equipment operator along with 3 to 4 people to deploy the material, and the remaining crew members could be assigned to jointing the panels and installing the stainless steel screws. A typical installation rate can be as high as 10,000 square feet per day for larger projects. Most times, projects under 5,000 square foot can easily be performed in a few hours, but no more than a single day. Remember to always use GCCM products that are compliant with ASTM D8364. Be sure to avoid lower quality copycat products that are likely to fail in a few months. Concrete canvas products are designed to last between 50 and 120 years, giving you, the owner, and the contractor peace of mind. Thanks for listening, guys. Please check out our website where we have installation guidance, case history videos, and even an online training program where you can receive contractor installation certification. If you have particular questions, please reach out to your local Concrete Canvas representative by visiting concretecanvas.us. Thank you.